Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. I just did a video on this before the live stream. Check that out on my channel. Hit subscribe. Watch the video on this. If the longer live stream is if it's too long for you to watch, just watch the video that I just did, the upload that I just did about an hour ago, and hit subscribe to this channel right now. Everything that I've been saying has been taking place. To my super chat, Paul Bartlett, thank you, Paul Bartlett, my viewers in Australia and throughout the world. Thank you so very much. There are so many wonderful people in Australia who love Trump and around the world. And I just appreciate you, Paul Bartlett, and to the viewers in Australia and Nepal and Canada and throughout the world, in the UK, India, thank you so very, very much. Everyone watching, thank you so very, very much. In Boston, thanks everybody. A tragedy took place. An officer lost his life. It was an absolute tragedy. He would be alive today, likely, if it were not for that fateful day in January. I agree with that. However, the chaos and mayhem and the criminal activity was not Trump's fault. He did not tell anyone to commit a crime. Democrats, and hit subscribe to this channel right now. Share this everywhere because I'm going to explain the mindset, the very diluted mindset. Okay? Democrats believe. Hello, everyone, by the way, again. Debbie, hello. Anthony, hello. Paul Bartlett, again, thank you to the super chat on this channel. Thank you so very much. King Eris, hello. Sandro, hello. To the super chat, High Tones, hello. Thank you so very much for your support. Your super chat is so important to help me do these live streams, ladies and gentlemen. And tell your friends and family about this channel. Hit subscribe. The Democratic Party the Democratic Party thinks that voters or supporters of Trump are mindless creatures. Not even artificial intelligence, just mindless creatures that have no impulse control, have no ability to control their actions. Pop Analysis! God bless you, New Jersey. I love New Jersey. Happy New Year to you, Pop Analysis. I hope all is well. Thank you so very much. Pop Analysis, I hope all is well, and thank you so very much. And thanks for watching for so long, and I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. The super chat, thank you so much. Democrats want you to believe that the average Trump supporter or the average voter for Donald Trump has no impulse control, has no ability to decide right or wrong when Trump speaks. They are mindless drones, according to the wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. Completely mindless drones that will commit criminal activity if Trump is upset or doesn't accept results. They've infused their arrogant sensibilities, liberal Democrats, into a civil national debate. What used to be a debate or a disagreement in terms of politics has become an offense, has become a type of affront to the sensibilities of the morally superior. This is about Democrats making a logical, rational discussion into turning it into some kind of offensive, repulsive topic that you can't talk about, that you just simply can't discuss because it would offend the sensibilities of good, logical, rational individuals. So when they accuse Trump of being a Kremlin operative because they couldn't handle losing to Trump in 2016, that was okay. There was nothing wrong with that. They wrote books on what happened and, is Trump compromised? And they lied by omission every single day. They say that Trump lies. He really doesn't. He's probably the most honest president we've ever had. He wants a wall. He wanted to build one. They wouldn't let him. He wants to bring Americans home. The Pentagon lied to him. In fact, he did bring Americans home from more theaters of conflict than his predecessors ever did. They sent Americans there. With first president to step foot in North Korea with record low poverty, record highs in household median income. He was a great president. But he didn't cause you know what, and he didn't tell people to shut down their economies. That was the Democratic Party. And he didn't tell people to commit criminal activity that fateful day in January. Okay, people decided to commit criminal acts on their own. And when you decide to like break a window, you're doing it on your own. Nobody is telling you to do so. And even if somebody tells you to do so, you learned at a young age not to listen to people, not to be manipulated. And so, you know, when you're an adult, which is like Democrats don't really even trust their own constituents to be adults, and that's why they have to censor and silence all debate and discussion and keep Trump off the ballot, because God forbid you might actually accidentally want to vote for him, the orange menace, the devil incarnate. But what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is a very stupid leap of logic. A sad, pathetic, stupid leap of logic. Trump didn't agree with results, and he performed a speech, and because of that speech, people committed criminal acts because they were so upset, and they would never have been upset had Trump not said anything. And so, it's like, that's not what took place. The federal judge completely undermined, in this civil case, the special counsel case against Trump. The special counsel case against Trump is that he tried to, it's not that he engaged in a rebellion, but he tried to commit a number of criminal acts linked to a speech. Okay? We have here a federal judge saying, actually, Trump isn't liable for any lives lost. And again, it's a terrible, terrible thing that there were 4 lives lost that day. Actually, 5. And when you look, ladies and gentlemen, there was an unarmed woman as well that media has completely ignored because it doesn't suit the media narrative. And if God forbid that was a left-leaning demonstrator, that woman's name would be heard throughout the world. Okay? But she supported Trump, and her life was taken. And Democrats are just fine with that. And so you have a situation where there's a double standard. Trump is up in the polls, and he's up in the polls because at the end of the day, even the Daily Beast has to admit the truth. And they actually, every once in a while, even though they wrote a hit piece on me when I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, if you could believe that, before I was a Trump supporter. My only sin, according to the author who wrote the hit piece, was that I wasn't voting for Clinton. This is the way the Democrats work. They have to bully anyone who disagrees within their little tent or their gigantic tent of supporters or constituents or base. I was a Democrat my whole life, and in 2016, I saw how vicious, how venomous Democratic journalists of all different publications can be on the left. And so there was a hit piece on me because my writing was being read hundreds of thousands of times. Not the author who wrote the hit piece, my writing. And because my voice was gaining traction, steam, I had a decent amount of influence in terms of my support for Bernie Sanders and my ability to write and be published in Salon, The Hill, The Huffington Post, other publications. Somebody wrote a hit piece on me. But it only amplified my voice, because when you are true to yourself, when you're not trying to be somebody, when you're not trying to simply adhere to a cult, and when you say, I'm not going to vote for Clinton, my candidate was Bernie Sanders at that point. There's a direct line between Bernie Sanders and Trump. If you want I thought I was getting with Bernie Sanders somebody who would give record low poverty and record highs in household median income. I was very delusional back then, because none of Bernie's policies would lead to that. I was very delusional. I'll be the first one to tell you that. And then I saw Trump with a record-breaking economy, record low unemployment, inflation at like 3% or so, less than that. Interest rates around even less than that. And you had not only a functioning economy, a growing economy, every demographic group, people who just had high school diplomas were doing very well. And Char West, hello. And you have a situation where the Daily Beast stated the following, which it's a great article. Federal Bureau of Investigation, no evidence Trump or allies organized crime. There was no evidence he organized any criminal activity, which is why Vox, another liberal publication, in a big victory for Trump, the Supreme Court tells Jack Smith to go away. The political momentum is heading towards Trump, and they can't stop it. Democrats have no clue how to stop this, ladies and gentlemen. They have no clue how to stop what's taking place. Hit subscribe if you're new to this channel. Your super chat is so important, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to talk about anything going on, let me know. Paul Bartlett, thank you. Pop Analysis, thank you to the super chat. Thank you so very much. Again, I do have an upload of video before this live stream, so check it out. If you're watching this live stream for the first time, check out the video prior to this one. A federal judge in D.C. just ruled that Trump was not liable for anyone's loss of life. Okay? And that's huge, because in D.C. he's being accused of, committing crimes associated with a speech because he voiced discontent. And because he voiced discontent, according to the special counsel, criminal activity took place. Oh, and he also tried to deceive Mike Pence, which, of course, is a very absurd leap of logic, because Mike Pence was not going to be fazed by any demonstration. Nor did he know that, here's the other thing, there's no evidence at all that Trump knew his demonstration would lead to chaos. Okay, so as always with Trump, they take something like, all you had to do if you were the Democratic Party, Butch, hello, Randy, hello, all you had to do, True Blue, hello, all you had to do if you were the Democratic Party was say that Trump should never have had that day in January, and leave it at that. All you had to do was that. That's all you had to do. Trump caused a lot of problems, and he doesn't know how to communicate to people, and his speech turned into chaos. But they didn't just leave it at that. They said he tried to rebel against the country. That's what they said. He tried to rebel against the country. Okay? He tried to rebel against the country. That's what they said. He tried to overthrow the United States government. So you go from a chaotic day to Trump tried to overthrow the United States government and the planet and sell the entire, sell Earth to Martians for money to build a hotel in Moscow. And if you said that to the morally superior, highly educated Democrats, they would believe it. And when Trump wins in 24, and he's going to win. And let's put it this way: if our republic and let's just say democracy works, we'll just leave it at that. And Tammany Hall doesn't do the usual. Trump has they cheated Bernie Sanders. So look what they did to Bernie Sanders. To say that Democrats engage in that activity all the time is just look at their primaries. Look at their lack of a primary. Look at the fact that in the 2 contests in a row, Bernie Sanders was overtly cheated, especially in Iowa. But they're used to it, though, and they expect the entire country to be used to it, but we're not. People don't accept when you look at somebody that doesn't even campaign, who can't even finish a sentence, who stumbles and bumbles about, who speaks to a grand total of 3 people, maybe 4 if things are really moving well for him. And Trump is filling arenas and stadiums, wins Ohio, wins Florida that night, no problem. And those states usually determine the victor. And then suddenly, days and days go by, weeks go by, and Trump lost. Okay? People have questions. People are going to have questions. Natalie, hello. And so the issue with Trump is he plays the media very well, but also there are too many people that actually believe the hysteria regarding Trump. There are too many people that actually believe it. Aaron, hello. And so when you have an accusation that he committed a rebellion, suddenly you have Supreme Court, you have the Colorado Supreme Court saying, well, he engaged in trying to overthrow the government. So, you know what? 14th Amendment, you got to kick Trump off because, he tried to overthrow the government, even though you'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that. You'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that Trump tried to overthrow the United States government, when no intel agency, no law enforcement agency found any evidence of an organized plot to commit any type of rebellion. But I mean, that's the issue. The people who are so worried about information that misinforms continually spread information that misinforms about Trump. And the average person is tired of it. The average American is tired of it, even if you don't like Trump. Nobody cares anymore. High tones, no problem at all. Thank you. Just the fact that you're here means a lot. Sometimes, depending on the phone, you have to go down in the chat, and then there's a dollar icon. You click that, and then you hit super chat. So that, sometimes it's difficult depending on the phone. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is a huge victory for Trump legally. Yeah, it's a terrible thing that an officer lost his life because of chaos and mayhem. But there are other issues, like Vivek Ramaswamy brought up, issues pertaining to possible involvement of individuals other than normal supporters of Trump. We'll leave it at that. And this is the thing that I always wonder about Trump. He's very smart. He is brilliant when it comes to media generally. Sometimes he loses focus, but he has zero media support, and he's up over Biden. And he's been indicted 91 times. Well, there's 91 criminal charges. And he's still up over Biden. The man knows media and politics. But for the life of me, I don't understand why he's always naive, very naive when it comes to like that day in January. He should have realized that Democrats would do every single thing possible to sabotage that day. He should have realized that media would do everything possible to paint that day in the most negative light. Let's just assume that there wasn't. Let's just assume that there wasn't that chaos that day. Again, the chaos wasn't Trump's fault, but he should have known. He should have known that. He should have known that supporters of Trump don't have the same luxury of demonstrating. CMW! CMW, thank you as always. CMW, thank you so very much. As always, thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. To my super chat, thank you. Randy! You know what? I do. I haven't in a little while, but I do. I actually purchased a Springfield XD45. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Randy, thank you so very, very much. Very affordable too, and excellent, thank you so much, Randy. Greatly appreciate it. CMW, thank you as always. Thank you as always. The super chat, thank you. I can't do this without you, everybody. And CNW, Randy, Paul Bartlett, everybody here. I want you to fast forward to November of 2024. We are going to have a major party. We are going to have, let's put it this way. I think the channel will approach 300,000 subscribers. I think we'll probably have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people on the live stream. Tim Pool will have easily 100,000 people on his live stream. You know, Sticks, X, and Hammer will probably have 50,000 people. I could possibly have 6,000, 7,000 people on the live stream, 8,000. Every YouTuber that has talked about this, Debbie, hello, will have a huge, huge, huge live stream. Because when Trump wins in 24, it will be not only against the odds. CMW, Randy, everybody here, Paul Bartlett, think about what that means. He had Bureau officials, Department of Justice officials, all of media. I mean, 24/7 venom, vitriol. They accused him of everything under the sun. And imagine when he wins. Imagine when he wins in 24. And every single wonderful, highly educated, morally superior liberal that maybe disowned you, maybe disowned me, will have to live with the fact that their decision to abandon friendship because of politics perhaps wasn't a wise decision. Perhaps that was the culmination of years and years of media and groupthink and hysteria over simply losing. In 2016, Democrats lost, and they lost their minds as well. Donald Trump defeated the entire Democratic Party. Daniel, hello. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for watching. In Croatia, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Daniel Stanich, thank you. Imagine the entire world looking at the United States of America and saying, okay, you couldn't stop this man. All of media couldn't stop this man. Every intel official couldn't stop this man. All of Hollywood couldn't stop this man. Every social media tech mogul billionaire couldn't stop this man. The average morally superior liberal who ruins Thanksgiving and holiday parties and dinners because of their apoplectic reaction to anyone who likes Trump couldn't stop this man. And imagine what November of 24 is going to be like. Be here on this channel. I can't wait to be here every 4 years with you. And I will be. I'm very, very fortunate, by the way, to have the viewers who watch me. I'm very fortunate. It means a lot to me that I can give my analysis and my viewpoint. CMW, thank you. I hope you will. CMW, thank you as always for your support. So greatly, greatly appreciated. You and Paul Bartlett, everybody here, thank you. Greatly appreciated, CMW. Thank you. You as well, Paul. Thank you. And everybody here, Randy, thank you. If he was guilty of fomenting and actually, Tammy, hello, if he was guilty of committing these crimes, he would have been found guilty in the civil trial. So it's going to be difficult now for the special counsel to convict Trump. So think about this. They're going to convict Trump, send him to prison for something that they couldn't prove in a civil trial. Think about that for a second. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation couldn't find any evidence that he committed any wrongdoing. So think about that. Think about that for a second. How do you make these statements about Trump? Then you opine and you obsess over information that misinforms and information taken out of context and 5.5 Pinocchios and a long list of lies that Trump told and all the things he did that was debunked. And then he wins the presidency and every prosecution, every conviction that he faces is overturned by the Supreme Court. What do you think? I mean, at a certain point, the average morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat has to look in the mirror. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask everybody this question. Do you think the highly educated morally superior will look in the mirror when Trump wins? The Big AM, hello. Indomitable, hello. Do you think they're going to look in the mirror? Thank you. CMW. Thank you so very much. I think, you know what, CMW, I think momentum is on his side. I also, CMW, see a terrible stock market crash. God forbid, but I do see it. And I think it's going to be very similar to 2008 with President Obama defeating McCain. When Obama defeated McCain, in large part, that was also because of the collapse of the market. I think it's going to be the same type of thing. And when he wins again, it'll be a case study in cognitive dissonance. It'll be a truly American, like when they say only in America, it'll be a truly American. Gen X, yes. When they say that I'm leaving, when people, and you have these actors and actresses saying I'm leaving if Trump, then leave. Why are you here? You can afford a house in the south of France. Go leave. You have actresses and actors worth tens of millions of dollars. And they say they're going to leave when Trump wins. Well, you're still here. He won in 2016. I mean, it's not like the country needs an aging, morally superior liberal actress or actor to live here. If they want to leave, they can leave anywhere in the world. They have the money. The big AM probably hurts, but if they rally around Madam Secretary, it really won't matter. I don't see them going with Biden, though. I just don't see how they can go with Biden all the way to November, because they're looking at a monumental defeat. And Trump's going to be up either by 1 or by 3 or by 5 or by 6 points in November. And if they go with Biden, it'll be exactly CMW. If they go with Biden up until November, it'll be a catastrophic defeat for Democrats. I don't get it. He's not popular. He doesn't have a base of support. Nobody voted for Biden saying, "Oh, I always said he would be a great president." Nobody ever stated that. Exactly, Candy, exactly. But nobody ever stated, like, have you ever heard anyone say, "Gosh, you know would make a great president? Joe Biden would make a great president." I never heard that said by anyone. Said nobody ever. So they've used, and this is the thing also, it's like a lot of these court cases are fueled by media. Just like his investigations were fueled by media. What would take place is the following. You'd have intel officials or high-ranking officials, the DOJ, the Bureau. They would feed stories to willing journalists at liberal publications. This is according to the Inspector General's report, Horowitz. They would feed stories, and then they would engage in official government acts based on the news reports. Truffles, hello. Based on the news reports that they helped create. So you had this circular logic, this charade going on. So much of the news pertaining to Trump has been this mania trying to, when you tell the average American you can't do something, that person's going to want to do it. When you say you can't listen to this music, you can't date that person, you can't eat this food, usually it's like the best tasting food on the planet. Usually it's like pretty good music. You tell somebody, don't vote for Trump, don't do it, he's bad. And then if you have enough integrity, you say, well, we had a good economy. Trump is actually leading. And this is really interesting. This is really interesting. Black, Hispanic, and young voters abandon Biden. That is a landslide defeat. That is a landslide defeat for Democrats. An absolute landslide defeat. Truffles! Truffles, hello! Hello, Truffles. Thank you so very, very much. When you have core demographic groups within the Democratic Party, okay, when you're losing the youth vote, when you're losing Black and Latino voters to Trump. Oh, and by the way, you watch all the left-leaning, like, million sub pundits, some of whom who disparaged me, okay? You watch, like, liberal publications here and there actually back Trump. Not, I don't want to say liberal, let's say far left. All right, like, let's say certain journalists who you never would think would back Trump or will back Trump this 24, and they'll do so because they'll be seen. They'll want to be seen as critical thinking and independent of, like. But Trump is going to be a fashionable choice eventually. You watch. Henry Mann, hello. I think Vivek Ramaswamy actually would make a great vice president. I don't agree with him on every single thing. On most things I do. But I mean, if you're the Democratic Party and you have all cylinders running 24/7, 24/7, Trump bad, Democrats good, Trump bad, Trump bad. If you're trailing among Latino voters, how are you even thinking you're going to also lose the Senate and the House? You won't have the 40 million from Sam Bankman-Fried, Democrats. You won't have the crypto money because the Bitcoin is going to crash big time, unfortunately. We're going to have a devastating stock market crash. I wrote in the Federalist in 2021, late 2021. It was almost 2022. 2022 was a terrible year. 2023, the bubble was just, expanded to completely irrational levels, and now the thing is going to unfortunately crash. And it's unfortunately going to be a devastating crash. So, if you're already losing among the foundation of Democratic Party politics, the voters that lift up the Democratic Party, okay, imagine what takes place when Biden gets impeached. And by the way, when they convict Trump, it's not like it's going to hurt him. It's not like it's going to hurt Trump. Arlene, yeah, Nikki Haley would be a terrible choice. The only thing with Nikki Haley that would help Trump is that he picks, Dawn, hello. If he picks a woman and he picks all the, like, for example, there's a lot of Nikki Haley people. The interesting thing is not enough to even get close to Trump, but there's actually more Nikki Haley people than there are DeSantis people, interestingly enough. So I don't think it would be a good choice, but I really don't think it'll be a good choice. But, I mean, it could help him. I think it would be a bad choice, but it could help him. Because she would be a better version of Pence, which is kind of like a car that's a little bit better than a Pinto. Exactly. Trump Ramaswamy would be good. I think Trump JFK Jr. would be fantastic. But that would be tough. That would be a tough thing to kind of. JFK Jr. stated he wouldn't do that, and that would be a tough sell in some respects. But if you have Trump leading among young people, Latinos, and black voters, how on earth are Democrats going to even get close? And you have poverty is up in the United States of America. Dine and die, I know, I agree with you. I agree with you. But um, well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Okay, who would be better? Okay, so who? Hold on. Who is a better VP for Trump? Vivek or Kari Lake? So who would be a better VP, Vivek or Kari Lake? But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, about Kari Lake. I mean, I like her; she's great, but she hasn't won anything yet. Granted, that's another story. You could say that, well, it was taken from her, but you do need somebody who's either like a billionaire, so somebody very like wealthy and accomplished in terms of business for this political run. Kari Lake has accomplished a great deal. I'm just saying she has to probably win some type of seat and then be a VP in the future. See, the one thing he needs is somebody that cannot. True Blue, hello, thank you. He has to pick somebody who won't abandon him. General Flynn's an amazing. I have a great deal of respect for General Michael Flynn. That's true. He hasn't won anything, Vivek, but he's a big entrepreneur. That's true, though. Gen X, that's true. They have very strong personalities. I do think, though, that Trump needs somebody that Democrats would be very fearful. So if they try to impeach him like 30,000 times, if he has a vice president that Paul, hello. If he has a vice president they really don't want in office, that would help Trump. Elon Musk, that's a good one too. But yeah, I mean, 2023 was a very quiet year in terms of like I would not quiet, but it was a very mundane year. Not much was taking place in terms of momentum for Trump. But the momentum now has shifted entirely to Trump. When he gets convicted, he'll get convicted just because, the cards are stacked against him. When he gets convicted, his poll numbers will go up because everybody knows what's going on. When he gets convicted, CMW, thank you again to my super chat. Thank you. When he gets convicted, his poll numbers will actually go up. Because everyone knows what it feels like to be picked on in class. Pony Soldier! Yes, catch up. Pony Soldier, thank you so much. Every live stream, you're gifting people. Thank you. That is so kind of you. That's so kind of you. Pony Soldier, thank you. Thank you so very much. That's awesome of you. Catch up, hello, thank you for being a member now. Pony Soldier, thank you as always for gifting memberships. That's true. Kari Lake would be good because she is so pro-Trump. That is true. That is true. It's just that I fear that Byron Donalds would be amazing also. He needs a vice president who could withstand and defeat the media onslaught. So Pence was so boring, media had nothing to really, obsess about. With Kari Lake, they'll obsess. With Vivek Ramaswamy, he has what it takes to kind of battle media. Now, if he picks Nikki Haley, there's not much. I mean, yeah, actually, there is a lot. So that would be a bad thing all around because there are actually very bizarre allegations against her about her personal life, which, you know, I'm not going to get into, but you can look it up. Um, Throughout his presidency, Pence did really nothing to back him, which is unbelievable when you think of a vice president. Like, all Pence had to do, if Pence was loyal to Trump the way Biden was loyal to President Obama, Pence could then, you know, 4 years from now, be the front runner. Because he'll still be in politics 4 years from now. He's not that old. So, same with DeSantis. DeSantis completely ruined his campaign. DeSantis completely ruined his campaign. I mean, that he did the absolute worst thing you could do. He did the absolute worst thing you could do when it comes to running a campaign against Trump. DeSantis is known for being another version of Trump. Then when you go after, when you try to undermine the person who made you popular, really, like, I mean, he was doing a lot of good things in Florida, but it was Trump that actually, you know, kind of brought him greater national recognition. And so, I mean, then you kind of like try to, you know, betray, so to speak, Trump. Makes no sense. It just makes no sense that, I mean, you look at Pence, you look at Pence, you look at DeSantis, it just makes no sense. I don't know what you have to gain. See, here's the thing. Vivek Ramaswamy, he showed the world that you could back Trump and actually also completely defeat and annihilate the absurd media narratives. Vivek Ramaswamy was just wonderful when it comes to actually defending Trump and then also, you know, not standing for the media hysteria. And that's why, like, he was awesome. I didn't watch a lot of the Republican debate, but he was very good. This whole thing also, Chris Christie. Chris Christie is one of the most arrogant politicians. He gets in the faces of just average people all the time, all 560 pounds of him. And he's just, I have a short on this channel. You can see all the different candidates, kind of just, it's like a blooper reel of Republican candidates, and Crispy's on there. And then he's talking about civility to Ramaswamy. It's like, it's politics. And by the way, there are numerous videos of Chris Christie insulting people, like average people, like normal people, reporters, but not in the way that Trump or DeSantis does it. So Krispy Kreme is not very nice, but very delicious at the same time. Like, what's his name from Spaceballs? I taste great. Oh, Pizza the Hut. Yeah, Pizza the Hut. Oh, wait, Canadian. Hello. CMW, thank you again. Paul Bartlett, thank you again. 11 more minutes, everybody. So it's just growing. Like, look, there's only so long you can watch a bumbling, stumbling, Rip Van Winkle type person. Um, you know, there's something to be said. With age should come some type of, wisdom. I don't know how much wisdom Biden has, if any. I don't know. Like, Trump has a great deal of wisdom. If you look at what he said about the wall, about natural gas in Europe, about foreign policy, okay? The fact that he didn't want a nuclear confrontation, and that he basically called nuclear confrontation and terrible market. And the thing is, the market going up, you would have to be, and I say this with all due respect, do not invest in the stock market now. It is at such a high that even if the fundamentals of the economy, even if we didn't have interest rates through the roof, pushing down inflation that will eventually go back up when oil prices go back up, even if you didn't have those things, now would not be a good time to invest in the market. The stock market is a casino. It's like gambling. And this is like a person who's had, like, a person in Vegas or Atlantic City who's had like 2 bottles of Jose Cuervo and just, winning and winning and winning. Eventually, you should probably stop and go back upstairs to the room. You don't keep going in this stock market, especially when Jim Cramer says that things will be just fine. When Jim Cramer at CNBC says there won't be a recession, run! Because there's not only likely going to be there will be a recession or a market crash. It really doesn't, unfortunately, it really doesn't matter what happens first. But now is just not the time to invest. You don't want to invest in this market because the fundamentals of this economy, ladies and gentlemen, make no sense. Why are we talking about, we had a recession 2 years ago. Why are we talking about a possible recession in 24 if the economy is so good? Okay, it's because of the shutdowns, the economic shutdowns. That's why. When they pumped trillions upon trillions, what was it, $16 trillion? They pumped $16 trillion into the economy through fiscal and monetary stimulus, more than that. So, yeah, I mean, you had all this free money going around, and it's taken a long time. It's taken a long time for corporate America. I mean, it helped corporate America. It made stocks more attractive, so people just started investing in stocks because you had all this free money. And now interest rates are through the roof. And oil prices, when they go back to, if oil is at $100, which could happen within 2 weeks, if oil is at $100 and interest rates are as high as they are, and then there's a market crash, and 1 out of $5 was already created in the past 5 years. 1 out of every $5, that's one statistic, was just created out of thin air. They don't have the luxury. The Fed would not have the luxury to just pump even more money because then inflation would go higher and then they'd have to increase interest rates again. So, the big AM. Thank you. So, Alan, hello. So, this is actually, look, it's unfortunate. It's a terrible thing. An officer lost his life, and it's a terrible, terrible thing. But if you're suing Trump, it's very difficult to say that Trump caused the criminal acts of somebody he never met. It's very difficult to accuse Trump of being the cause of criminal activity committed by people he never met. And that's the issue here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you, CMW and Paul Bartlett. Thanks, everybody. I'll be here tomorrow. We will have a live stream tomorrow at around, I would say probably 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern. And then another live stream probably around 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, I'll have an upload as well. Everybody, thank you so very much. Hit subscribe. Florida Man Bear, hello. Hit subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow for the numerous live streams. I'll try to do a live stream, at least one. Definitely try for 2 every single day from here past November.